Hello and welcome. We are back to our serious discussion. The Avengers films keep getting darker and darker, and today we are talking about our second one of our crossovers, Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron was released in 2015 and is our second of our Avenger films where we have the entire cast crossover. So you have all your old favorites, Black Widow, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, and Thor together. But then we're also introduced to our new set of Avengers as we continue further within this film. This was written and directed by Joss Whedon. Again, can do excellent stuff, but DC failed. But I also have to say that it wasn't his fault. He just jumped on the project and tried to save it, but he wasn't able to. But Marvel for the win anyways. This film personally is my least favorite of the Avenger films. It's still fantastic. The cinematography is wonderful. The story is what I hate. It is literally Tony Stark's fault that any of this happens. Tony and Bruce are trying to play around, but mainly Tony, with artificial intelligence. And he has Jarvis, and Jarvis is wonderful, but he's trying to come up with Ultron. And Ultron just goes haywire and becomes this gigantic robot that wants to destroy the world.
Tangled in strings.
There's also the joke that everyone went around, even when it just came out with the trailer, as soon as the trailer hit, and everyone was so excited for it, that they were just glad that Disney bought them out so that they could use a Pinocchio reference. And it is in this film several times, him singing "I Got No Strings." But literally, this whole film could not be needed if you didn't mess around with artificial intelligence. I know that Iron Man is all about robotics and Tony Stark is a genius millionaire philanthropist playboy, but I'm anti-robots and technology still as a person. So this entire thing would be so scary if it came to real life. And it's a warning to not do this. Do not do this. We do not need artificial intelligence. And it does really give you a really great argument against it. The movie starts out where they finish up a battle and they grab Loki's scepter back, and we are introduced to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Quicksilver is also really interesting that they're able to use this because he is known to be a part of the X-Men. X-Men are owned by 20th Century Fox, which Disney does not have the rights to yet, but we are getting them. But at the time, they did not have the rights. So it's interesting that they were able to use this character, especially when he is a part of a different property still. But we're going to talk about more Quicksilver when we talk about the X-Men films later in this month. Because of the fact that Disney is working on buying 20th Century Fox, I did want to take a look at X-Men because they are a really major part of Marvel that Disney can't do anything with. But Universal can. Universal does have the X-Men and have some property with them between merchandise and the characters. But that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about that more later on. There's only one very hilarious scene, and that was also a sneak preview that they showed before any of the trailers came out. And that's when they're at the party. Tony Stark throws a party, and everyone is trying to lift manure.
Oh, please be my guest.
Come on. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. Clint, you've had a tough week. We won't hold it against you if you can't get it up.
You know I've seen this before, right? Yeah. I still don't know how you do it.
Smell the silent judgment? Please, Stark, by all means.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Never one to shrink from an honest challenge.
Get after it.
It's physics. Physics. All right, so if I lift it, I then rule Asgard?
Yes, of course.
I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta. Be right back. Are you even pulling? Are you on my team? Just represent, pull.
All right, let's go.
But it's really cool foreshadowing because we're also introduced to Vision later on in the film, and Vision just hands Mjolnir to Thor like it's no big deal, and everyone is just shocked. So I like that they still followed through. They planted a seed in the beginning, had a funny humor joke about it, but then later on it's used as a really criminal plot point to move the story forward. So I love that. I'm really grateful and impressed that they were able to write it out and plant seeds to grow into trees, in a sense. I also appreciate that they had a Wakanda reference and that we had the villain that's in Wakanda briefly here, because I didn't remember it, but going back and watching it I was so excited. I'm like, Wakanda is here! So everything is so planned out, everything is fantastically well done, and they know what they're doing, and I'm so excited. That's why I keep saying it all the time, to go back and to rewatch everything. And now that I have all the knowledge of all these films, picking up on things that I wouldn't have picked up before because I don't read the comics. So I'm really grateful that they still plot it in here and they have the path of where they're going. And bravo to them for that, so bravo. I like Quicksilver's character. I love Scarlet Witch. Elizabeth Olsen plays Scarlet Witch, and she is very nice as a character. She's very powerful, and it's really cool to see her as a new Avenger. And she's a witch, and that's awesome.
That's right. She started out as a villain. Her power is to tap into the mystic powers of the universe, creating reality-disrupting chaos. Essentially, she can manipulate cosmic probability. Scarlet Witch then joined the Avengers a year later in Avengers number 16, and spent the next bunch of years kicking butt with them.
Tomorrow, we are going to be shrinking down in size and taking a side trip for Ant-Man. And he's going to be an important character in the following next couple of films. So we're going to be introduced to him and then come back to Avengers again. So stay tuned, and as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you real soon.